Welcome back to the 21 Convention of Orlando, Florida 10-year anniversary special event. Our next speaker is an alumni speaker returning for now his second time to the 21 Convention stage. He first spoke last year in Miami, Florida, again at the 21 Convention main event. When people ask me about this next speaker, there's one thing I repeatedly say, which sounds kind of odd, but I mean it, which is why I keep saying it again and again and again. At 29 years old, I think I've met more dating coaches and coaches in that area of life than anyone else alive who's my age or younger. I've met literally hundreds. And there's only one man in the world who, when I'm physically around him, I feel my game is like literally better, noticeably better. I don't mean like more confident or anything simplistic like that. Like I actually can communicate with women better, being within 50 feet of the guy. Like an aura or something, which again sounds like kind of odd or spiritual woo-woo, but I mean it. This guy, his love of women and of beauty is intense and real, and you feel it being around him. Whether it's here in this room, we're out and about at Whole Foods, Miami, we're hanging out and shit. Anyway, without further ado, please help me welcome for his second time to the stage, Zan Perrion. Welcome back.
Thank you, brother. Wow. That was very kind. I've been speaking a lot over the years, 15 years, and I thought for the last couple of days, what am I going to talk about? And I'm kind of at a loss, strangely enough. It's, because like in my 20s, maybe you guys know my story, maybe you don't, I won't go into it now. But in my 20s, I was completely lost and alone and needy and insecure. Can we turn me up? Or no, oh, I see, I have to speak. Sorry. Okay. In my 20s, just a long time ago, and I would go out by myself to the bars, to the clubs, to the lounges, by myself to try and understand myself, and I was insecure, but I never gave up. I kept going. You hear my story in another place, I won't go into it now. I was massively needy to the point where girls would go on a date with me and then they're like, I don't want to see this guy anymore. And I was so lost and alone, and I spent my 20s in that range. In my 30s, where because I kept going, is when the light bulbs kind of go, like every now and then I go, wait a minute. The girl said this to me. I've heard that 20 times before, and really, maybe it means this. So I started to learn and started to get some little aha moments. I never had any startling epiphanies or big giant leaps. So my 30s was like kind of like small incremental light bulb. That was back in the day before, is it true? Before the internet discussions. And so I had no help. I had nobody to look up to. I had nobody to turn to. I had nobody to say, this is how you do it, and it's going to be okay. And so my 30s was like starting to get like some kind of understanding, because I did nothing else but try and understand the hearts and minds and arms of women. That's all I wanted to know. And so my 40s is when I hit the road. I quit my corporate job. I wandered out into the earth, carry-on bag only. And I traveled and I consolidated and refined and understood and conversed and spent time trying to distill what I'd learned about the hearts of women. And my 40s, I traveled and I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book called The Alabaster Girl. And it took me 10 years to write, from 40 to 50. And birthday to birthday, I published on my 50th birthday. Get it out the door, kick. And And then it feels like I've said something. No, I vomited something out of my system. The whole time I was writing that book for 10 years, I love books, and yet I never read another book in that 10 years. Because I would go into an airport bookstore, I'm like, I love bookstores, and I would go in there and I'd be like, books, 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 and they called to me, but I would feel guilty because I hadn't finished my book. And I felt like, so I'd walk out of there. And I also didn't want to, shift what I was trying to say. There was something in me that had been learned and fought for, and I was in the trenches with the mustard gas flying over my head, and I wanted to describe that experience. And so for 10 years, I didn't read another book. And now, honestly, guys, I feel devoid. I feel like I've said, this is my book, I'll show you. By the way, incidentally, I know some of you have my book. It's here. It's called Alabaster Girl. And in Romania, where I have an apartment, I printed 2,000 of these books, and I have 1,000 left. I give them away. So if you want a signed copy, when I go back to Romania, I'll sign it, send it to you in the mail. Just pay for shipping. Go to alabastergirl.com, and I've got 1,000 left. So as soon as 1,000 are gone, done. But that's the book. And that was 3 years ago I published this thing on my birthday, and I haven't cracked it since. It's like that conversation is done. It's honestly, it's everything I ever knew or learned in my entire life to that point about sexual polarity, masculine edge, the female spirit. And so I feel like I'm coming on stage here. I thought for a couple days, what can I say? And the only thing I'm going to do is just kind of like, the only thing that has interest to me now is what I'm trying to understand for myself going forward, my next 50 years, my next book. It's the only thing that has any wheels for me at all. So it might be like scattered and messy, and I really don't have a nice opening and crescendo. I don't have it. So I'm just going to riff on a few things that I've been thinking about. And I hope you get value from it. My voice sounds a little scratchy, but oh well. And besides all that, you have enough information. You've been consuming information for 10 years on an average here, with books, ebooks, seminars, forums, Facebook groups, programs, DVDs, stuff you've done, YouTube videos. You have consumed information massively, and you have it packed in your head. So you don't need more information from me. And the only thing I want to get, if I can tonight, and I'll try, is to get kind of a spirit. If maybe you can feel what I've been trying to understand myself and what I'm still trying to understand going forward. So I'm not going to, I don't know, I'm just going to wing it. The information you have, like I said, you don't need more. The information age has run its course. It really has, look at the misinformation that's out there everywhere now. The information age has run its course. It's overwhelmed with misinformation. And you have enough in here. So now, the only task from this time forward for the rest of your life is how to take this massive amount of information that you have consumed and to lower it down here into your heart, lower it down into your gut, and into your balls, so you can feel something. Right? So instead of like talking to women like, hey, nice to meet you, what are you doing later? It comes from here. Hey, I'm just going to say, I like girls and you look like one. That's all I know. Just saying. comes from here. There's something that downshifts into your body. If you're hanging out with me ever, I'm like, hey, joke, fun, talk, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like anybody else. As soon as there's women, something in me downshifts. I can feel it. And there's something in me that kind of like, it's like, what's this shape? What's that video game? Mortal Kombat. And it's actually something that is shape charged for her. That's right, you felt that. I get it. I'm over here with my buddies, yeah. You're not going away. So there's something and if you can catch a glimpse or catch the spirit of that, get it out of your head. We're all in our head. You know, you get a negative thought. Let's say you go to a party and you don't know anybody there. But you want to be interesting and kind and cool and interact. And so you're like, get out my nerve, get in state. I'm going to talk to this girl over here. Hey, what are you drinking there? Whatever you say. And she's like, and she walks away. And now you get in your head, you get this negative thought in your head that says, well, that sucked. She just reinforced that I suck. You get this negative thought that circles around your head, you know, and it's like a bee. If you have one bee circling around your head, it's kind of a nuisance. If you have 3 or 4, that's your whole world. You have 3 or 4 bees circling around your head, doesn't matter what else is going on, that's the only thing you can think about or concentrate on is that. And these bees circle around your head, and these thoughts build upon the thoughts, and then you think, well, I'm not interesting enough, obviously, and I don't know anybody here, and this is stupid, and I feel awkward. And the negative thoughts jump on top of each other, and accelerate, and this swarm of bees goes around your head, and you can't escape it. There's a whole doctrine out there that says, change your thoughts, your life will change. Change your thoughts. You can't. Those thoughts are faster than you are. You can't outrun the bees. They're circling perfectly, and if you're running as fast as you can, they're still circling perfectly. Right? You can't outrun it. So, how then do you take this knowledge you have in your head and downshift it into your body so that now you're speaking from the way you feel as opposed to speaking from the way you think? I feel this. That's all I know. Just saying. How do you downshift it? Well, that's a good question. I don't know the answer, but I know approximations of the answer. And that is, how would I put words on this? If you want, the information age is done, and we want transformation. We want embodiment. That's what I'm talking about. Take it out of here and embody this knowledge that you've consumed. Embody it here so you can feel it, so the world can feel it. So you move with your belt buckle forward as you walk into a room. Hello, I'm here. Feel that, girls? It comes from here. And something's planted. How do you do this? I tell you what's missing from the hearts of men. Trying to put words on it. The sense of journey. The sense of journey. Everything with us is a loop. We have a job, we do the job, we get a promotion, and it's just a slightly different loop. We start a relationship with a girl, ends after 2.5 years, and it loops back, we get another girl just like her. And it's this looping energy. And we don't have the sense that we're on a progressive move this way, a sense of journey. The story of stories, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. That we have a sense of transcendence in that direction. We've got this looping energy. We don't feel like we're progressing. that we have anything to look forward to. You know the feeling you get when a birthday comes around? Think about that. Your birthday comes around again, and you're like, a year flew by. I can't believe it's my birthday again. And everybody's like, happy birthday to you. Blow out the candles, celebration. But you don't feel celebration. Inside, you're nodding your head and smiling, but inside you feel that I'm not here. The anxiety of like, my birthday, the year flew by. And you get this anxiety, this sense of angst here. And it's like, I can't believe the year just flew by and I'm already another year older. And when I'll tell you this, because when I quit my corporate job, you can hear my story elsewhere. I gave 2 months' notice. I was an executive. I gave 2 months' notice after thinking about it for a long time. And it shocked me and scared me. You can't imagine. Because I was going into nothing. And I remember I gave 2 months' notice because I was a senior guy. And I remember in that 2 months, I would lay in my bed and tears would stream down my eyes because I thought, what did I do? I gave up that full ride pension, all the benefits, medical, dental, gave it all up. I walked away from that. What am I doing? And I was scared and like, what did I do? But I've never looked back. And incredibly, because I didn't know that, but the side effect was the birthday comes around again, and it's just another day. You don't feel that. You feel like, okay, it's my birthday. And I think is you don't have that twinge of anxiety here when you are on message, when you're on a journey. You don't have it figured out. You don't have full confidence. You don't have this. You don't know where your next step is. But you know that you are taking steps to live a life of excellence, to make excellent memories. That's all you know. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you truly want change, and you do, or you wouldn't be here, if you want transformation, it's going to take everything you've got and more. And when I went to Nicaragua to work on my book, and I disappeared from the internet for a few months, and I sat there and I sweated in this cabin in a fishing village, and I wore the same shorts and t-shirt every day, no electricity. And I wanted to understand, the nature of what I was doing, and the people there were simple and the kindest and most happy that you can possibly imagine. And every 3 or 4 years, a hurricane would come through and rip out all their cabins and they build them again. So they had this sense of living very much in the moment. And I remember I came out of there to Amsterdam, and I did a weekend intensive there. So from that to this world, first world incredible culture. And the only thing I could think, those people are so happy and so kind and so caught up in the simplicity of what they have, and we have everything. And I thought, I came up with a phrase then, and I believe with all my heart, and I'll say it here: every great life has had in it a great renunciation. Let me say that again. Every great life has had in it a great renunciation. There is no other way. We think we can just put some motivational things on Facebook, like some stuff, do some affirmations, read another book. It's not enough. It's not enough. And we think, Hugh Hefner just died. And there's a video of Hugh Hefner, an interview when he was 88, so 3 years ago. And what's remarkable about the thing he said about himself, Notes to Self or something it's called. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. And he said, there were moments in my life where I completely reinvented myself completely. I consciously chose to have a new way of thinking, a new persona, a new path. He consciously chose it by sheer force of will. And I believe that you really need to reinvent yourself every decade or so. What do I mean by that? Everything. Everything. Well, Zan, that's irresponsible because I have... Well, okay. Yeah. We think we have to have it all figured out. We have to save some money. We have to get ready. We have to prepare. Security. You know, it wasn't too long ago that men just like you and 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 you, not you, and you, not too long ago, that men just like you went to sea in ships. Didn't get medical insurance before they went. They had no safety, surety, security. But they went. They followed the romance of their heart, said, I gotta go. And there's nothing. They could, there was no safety net for them. I mean, nowadays we backpack around Europe for 6 months, but no, you're going from ATM to ATM. Right? That sense of moving through life with a state of grace. And then we say, okay, but I have trauma and I have issues and I have this childhood. My childhood was not good, and I'm trying to sort this out. My childhood was not good. I was in foster homes from 4 years old for 2 years. And I don't remember the people's names, I just remember the people. And I remember they beat me within an inch of my life. And they locked me in closets. Because I was the babysitter, the closet. I learned how to count to 100 by myself in a closet. Figured it out. Sitting there in a dark closet. I saw violence. One of my first memories in the foster home is a gun pointed at my head. I don't know what happened. Drunken party, I don't know. So, I was a scared kid. And so, what's my point here? My point is this. Has there ever been in all of history good childhoods? In every culture, in every generation before us, there's been daddy's dragged off to war. Mommy can't feed us, so she's not feeding herself so she can give us food. Sister died from some incurable disease that would not happen today. All of childhoods and all of history were nasty, brutish, and short. I think that's Hobbes said that. Right? And all of history. They've always been destructive and trouble and traumatic. And yet we're the only generation that sits and dwells on it, contemplates it, tries to resolve it. as a result of my childhood before I can have any forward momentum. All other generations said, yeah, okay, well, I was abused. I was abandoned. I was betrayed. I was hurt. Right? Now I'm going to leave that behind and go and find out what I'm made of. Now, I am not trying to diminish, thoughtful and helpful therapy or counseling. I don't mean that at all. But when we use it as our crutch, as our excuse, as our victim, we're a victim, it's time to put away childish things, and say, no more. Because I tell you, that vile, mean authority figure from your childhood who hurt you in some way cannot touch you now. Can't touch you. You're a man. And at some point, why'd you see the time there? At some point, because no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to do it for you. You have to look in the mirror and see that little boy. That little boy who is sincere. He meant well. He didn't mean it. Yet he got stomped on. And it's up to you to look in the mirror and say, and see that little boy, and he's sad. I'll tell you something, because you think, like all the confident guys, they go through life like rah-rah, everything's all cool. But that energy and that concept of sadness as a theme that runs as a thread through your life. Everybody has it. That pretty girl over there has a theme of sadness from something in her childhood. You do too. But the great thing is, you integrate that as part of your whole, who you are. That thread of sadness is what makes you become emotional at a sunset, or a work of art, or some music that makes you goosebumpy here. That comes from the sadness of your life. That's why art has any kind of value and traction with you. So you embrace it and say, yeah, I'm not completely confident in what, but at least I'm here. You can do this. In a sec. That little boy in the mirror, you can look at him, which is you. No one else is going to, I promise you that. You can look at him and say, you know what? At least you're one thing, and no one can take it away from you. You're a student of life. You can give yourself that label right now because you're here, trying to understand your path, trying to find the path of excellence, trying to find your role, your dynamic with women. You're trying to find that energy of you moving forward, that transcendent progression through life, to get out of these loops. You can call yourself now a student of life. And that's absolutely 100% true, and no one can take it away from you. You've arrived. Hey, I'm a student of life. You can talk to a girl and she's like, well, I don't like you said that. Well, hey, I'm trying to be dynamic and interesting. I wanted to interact with you. I came to talk to you. And because I'm a student of life, I want to understand my role on this earth. I'm a student of life. She cannot say to you, well, no, you're not. She can say, I reject that. That can't be rejected. That is absolute truth. You can go home and look in the mirror every single day, and say, you know what, I said something stupid tonight to that girl. But I'm a student of life. No one can take it away or diminish that from you forever. That's the only thing you need to say to yourself from this point on. And if you have that sincerity, because that little boy in you was sincere. He meant well. And I have the belief that you're sincere now. You really want to have it be engaging, be kind, have somebody to love you, love somebody, be sweet, be cool, be interesting. That's sincerity. And if you have that, and you're sincerely trying to engage, and a girl says, well, you can forgive yourself everything. Everything from your past till now, you can forgive yourself everything. Forgiveness is huge. You can forgive that little boy. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I got you. And you can forgive everything, every seeming mistake you made if you're sincere. You're honest in your intentions. I said before, maybe I'm repeating myself, but I'll say it again, because it bears repeating. When you make love to a beautiful woman, a woman that you adore, and she receives you, and she takes you in. Because make no mistake, I don't care what you're hearing out there in the world, the energy and the divine birthright of men, your God-given energy, is a thrusting, penetrative energy. It's you thrusting. It's you desiring to bend the world over. That is divine. And we think, oh, okay, well, society says, well, men are like one step away from being a rapist. And you stopped at the playground there and looked at the kids playing, so you pedophile. Right? That's sin. That's a sin. Don't buy into it. Don't listen to it. Walk away from that energy. It's a sin perpetuated on men. The energy of man is to thrust and penetrate and give his greatest effort. And the greatest energy of the female spirit is to receive. And when you make love to a beautiful woman who receives, when you first penetrate her, and she's receiving you in the feminine grace, everything in that moment is forgiven. That energy forgives you for all the mistakes, all the hurts, all the things you did in the past. It's all forgiven because she receives and she rebirths you. Women with that energy, the female spirit, the beauty of the female spirit, the giving, rebirthing energy, they birth you and they have the power to rebirth you. And all is forgiven in that moment. And then we say, wait a minute, I don't meet girls like that. I'm on Tinder swiping. Right? And it's poking in holes and like, right? I get that. I understand. Women have shed the beauty of the feminine spirit, just like men have shed the beauty of the masculine spirit. And this is a reclamation. This is trying to say, we want to understand that again. We want to reclaim the polarity and the beauty. We want to say, I'm a man, and I like women, and I like the shape of women, and I don't apologize for that. No. Because God made me that way. None of this toxic shame, you quasi-rapist, you. Right? Don't buy into any of that. Don't accept it. So, I mean, there's a discourse going on in the world today, as you guys are all aware of, and it's a lot of voices on either side of the aisle. And I'm saying, there's nothing heroic in that conversation. Take an end run around it. Let's go over there. Yeah, okay, you guys nitter and natter over here. We're going over here. Let's go in this direction. I was on a radio show in Montreal, and it was a nightly sex talk radio show a while ago. And she said to me, okay, Zan, I asked all my guests this, so I'll ask you too, see what your answer is. What do you think about pornography and what it has done for the state of our intimacy and our relationships and how we view our bodies, and what has it done because it's so prevalent and it's everywhere? And what do you think it's shifted in the consciousness of this modern age? And I'm like, I don't really have an answer to that. I have no response to that. Now, I'm as aware as anybody that the prevalence of pornography has some impact on the way we view our bodies, the way we view our sexual energy. I get that. I get that. However, there's a lot of voices, pro and con, talking about that. You don't need my opinion stacked on top of it. So it's something I just haven't investigated or thought about or spent any time trying. You'll never hear me talk social commentary. What do you think about this and feminism? I don't know. Not interesting to me at all. At all. I want to understand something else. I want to understand what is the measure of a man? What makes us feel alive? What makes us feel like we're moving forward with grace and beauty and energy? What makes us feel like we're treasure hunters? Right? Where's that spark? Where's the joy? Where's the joy in any of it? You see? So I don't know. I mean, that's just me. Take an end run around it. Here's a perspective for you, because it really shocks my mind. If I'm on an airplane, I've traveled a lot, so I'm always on airplanes, and then you think, well, like, don't you get nervous on a plane? Like the plane might crash? And there's something in me, like if I get any twinge, which, that, man, what if this plane goes down? Then I'm going to go down with it. You know what kind of kicks into my heart? I look around at all the other people sitting on the plane. There's a family over there, and there's an old dude there. There's a girl there, she's pretty. And I think, if I go down, the plane goes down, they're all going too. How am I special? That perspective, I don't know, it just blows my mind. There's a book by Ernest Becker, I think that's right, called The Denial of Death. In the 80s, I think he wrote it or something. The Denial of Death. And his thesis is this: we spend our entire lives, from the time we're born all the way, in denial of the fact that we're going to die. So everything we do, enterprise, business, substances, binge watching Netflix, is just to avoid the thought, because I don't want to think about it, that someday we are going to return to the earth. Can't escape it. And the other thesis he had was, because, you look at the dual nature of man. The animals are the animals with instincts. A dog, eats, sleeps, humps. The dog doesn't think about the Picasso over there, right? We don't think, we don't know. But we do, we abstract. Locke said, beasts abstract not. And we think in abstract. We think about beauty, we think about our childhood, we think about where we're going to go, what we want to accomplish in life, our hopes and dreams. We think about art, architecture, we think these things. And so we have this illusion that we are approaching the divine. This dual nature of man. We're divine because we think divine thoughts, but we're also going to go back into the earth, just like any other animal. And the other thing he says, and it's true, no matter how pretty that girl is, and how accomplished she is, and how great and whatever we think she is, she can't escape the fact that every now and then she has to take a long, runny shit. Can't escape it. That's a reminder that we're heading to the grave. And when you step back from this perspective, oh, the girl didn't text me back, that's a low, low, low perspective. You step back to the, wait a minute, one of these days I'm going to be dead. You think on that level, the oblivion of the grave that we're going toward, that's a perspective to have. You know, when I see a portrait, a photograph, for instance, of a young woman from 1890 wearing a feather hat, showing her a little bit of her breast, and she's like smiling at the camera. You've seen these, right? These vintage photographs. I could stare at that for an hour. All I can think is, that pretty girl, if she was here today, be like, wow, she's pretty. 120 years ago, whatever it was. She's young. She's beautiful. She's desired. She has desires. She had talents we don't know about. Maybe she could whistle. Maybe she could knit a nice sweater. Maybe she fell in love with somebody. Maybe she wanted to move to New York City. And none of it matters at all today. Forgotten. All of her talents, all of her dreams, everything mean nothing. And that's us. That's us. 100 years from now, no one's going to remember what you tried to do. So the whole point, I guess, I'm trying to make is fight for that energy. Fight for, like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you in the book Ecclesiastes in the Bible, go read that book. Well, geez, Anne, I don't believe in the fairy tale. Read it. Go read the book. It was written 800 years before Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics came along and said, oh, you know, which is the same thing I'm saying. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics had this idea, which is kind of like a Buddhist thing, which is like, there's no good or bad, but thinking makes it so. That's Shakespeare, right? Doesn't matter. Stoicism. 800 years before that or so, the book of Ecclesiastes said, there's nothing new under the sun. Back then. Vanity, vanity. All is vanity. The writer of the book, King Solomon, presumably, said this, I acquired wealth above all the men of the earth. I had wisdom above all the men of the earth. I had enterprises and companies. I had women. Solomon had hundreds of wives and 1,000 concubines. He was a horn dog, right? He acquired all these things. He had all this above all men. And he said, when I surveyed it all is vanity. Which means, it means nothing. So that perspective, the perspective of the grave, the perspective of the oblivion of the grave, I don't mean to be so morbid, but makes you realize, you guys say to me, okay, well listen, Zan, you say head toward the light. Head toward the light, but there is no light. Everybody's mean, everybody's suspicious, everybody's attacking, there is no light. Well, guess what? Then be the light. Consciously choose, like Hugh Hefner did, consciously choose. Because as you start to give your grace and your energy and your inviting spirit to others, they start to shine around you. That's the way it works. The greatest men who have women in their lives, one of the greatest quality these men have is a generosity of spirit. They want you and you and you and you to have a great time in their presence, to shine in their presence. I don't know how many here have been in Romania in my place. I don't know. But my place is always filled with girls. My lovely girl, Diana, and her girlfriends are always there. And we always have like people in the space, play a bit of guitar, hang out, have a glass of wine. And what you'll never see in my place, it's true, I think so, yeah, is you'll never see, like there's 10 people sitting around, you'll never see two people paired off. Like this, blah, 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 blah. Because I won't allow it. Because I want the energy to come to the center. I want you and you and you. So I'll interrupt and say, hey, tell that story you told me earlier today. It was funny. Tell the whole group. It's an inviting into the center so that no one is disincluded. If you're ever near me, and we're in a group, and I see everybody's talking and you're sitting quietly, and no one's engaging you, I'm instantly, come here. Did you meet this girl yet? Come here. You got to meet this girl. Because I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be not included. And I won't allow it near me at all, because I know how it feels. It doesn't feel good. So if you're in a social energy with me, I'm like, hey, this is my buddy. You didn't meet him yet. Come here. Come meet this guy. I'm like throwing everybody to the center constantly. And the opposite of generosity of spirit is judgmentalism. Is that a word? Judgmental, to be judgmental. That's the worst quality a man or a woman can have. To be judgmental. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that girl because that's the worst quality. Rip that out of your heart if you have any twinge of that at all. So I don't know, guys. Like, I guess I'm pretty abstract, huh? I didn't give you any like concrete, like, then you do this, and then you say, hey. Well, I hope, like I said, I'm just going to do some musings up here. What I'm trying to understand for myself. Because my next 50 years, the only thing I'm trying to understand is I'm kind of done with the conversation of men and women. Doesn't mean I know everything. It just means I'm kind of like, I spent my whole life trying to understand women. It's all I've ever done since I was 18. I have done nothing else. I had no other hobbies but that. I want to know. I went out wherever women are going to be, I'm going to go there. Buy myself to the mall, buy myself to the bars. I play a little bit of guitar, but just because I thought girls would like it. I did nothing else but pursue the hearts and minds of women I want to know. And I wrote in my book that women have been my teachers. No man ever taught me something, but women have been my teachers. And it doesn't mean that women are enlightened and say, let me tell you something about women. No, women are just as lost as we are. They have no clue either. I learned from women by osmosis, by observing, by, wait a minute, she said this, and I heard that before, and maybe this. And so there's no woman ever actually, said, I'm going to teach you something. Just by observing the dynamic and the rhythm and the flow. Because it is a rhythm and flow. That's why you hear people say it doesn't matter what you say, and it doesn't. Because if you're from your head, like I talked about earlier, then it's all like, hey, will you like me? Because I have something interesting to say to you, and I got a joke, and will you like me? And it doesn't come from here, which is your grounded, beautiful, lower energy. I'll touch on that. Maybe I've said it before. I'm going to say it anyway. Because I think it's incredible. Because I didn't know this. Everything I say, I'm saying to my young self, believe me. And I did not know this. I was the guy trying to be cool all the time, walking around with imaginary lats. Right? And lean against the bar by myself till 2 in the morning when the bar closes. Didn't do anything, too afraid to approach the girls. There's an energy that we put into the world, which is our energy that starts from here, our solar plexus, our heart, whatever chakra, I don't know any of these things. But it comes from here, and it goes up and out into the world. You can feel it. There's a masculine energy that goes like this. It starts from here and flows out into the world. This is you being gracious. How you doing, brother? This is you, hey, can I get you more wine? Can I get your coat? This is you telling a joke. Hey, guys, you're going to love this story. There's a great, charming, beautiful, masculine energy that goes out into the world this way. Up and out. And that's a necessary, excellent, that's empathy, curiosity, humor, all these things. And then from the same center of gravity, you have a lower moving energy. Starts here and goes down and out. And it floats on the floor like bass. Boom, boom. And you can feel it. And it's your desire to bend the world over. It's your dark forest. It's your sexual desire. It's your thrusting nature. It's your mischief. Did I just say that? Yeah, I think I just said that. You better believe I said it. You liked it. It's that. And all of our instruction out there, not all, but 98%, is how to be more this. Toastmasters, how to tell jokes, how to be funny, how to entertain the girls. Hey, girls, I got a question for you. It's all upper energy. That energy is a high energy, it's a necessary energy. But if it isn't counterbalanced by that lower moving vibrational energy that plants into the floor like roots of a tree, you're the nice guy. You're top heavy. You talk to a girl, hey, it was nice talking to you. Would you like to go for coffee sometime? Oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. I didn't mean it. And we flinch. The Matrix, like this, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. What? Yes, you did. I just thought maybe we could have coffee sometime. I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a boyfriend. Because we're top heavy, we have nothing down here that grounds us, that counterbalances all these great things. Your charm, your beauty, your fun, spontaneity, all these things. And if you're only lower energy, you're a pig. You're a creep. You're invasive. Why would you say that? Why would you do that? Right? Because it's not balanced. And the integrated man is both. Our modern man is this only. We know what wine to order. We know how to massage a girl. Try and get her in the mood. Women are always in the mood. You know? If you get anything from this conference at all, take that back home with you. Your sexual energy, which has been slapped out of you by society and the media and everything, is from God. You have to believe that. It's a thrusting energy, and the beauty of the feminine spirit, which is lacking as well, which we can't find anywhere, is to receive and to rebirth. The greatest women are the ones who see the potential in you that you do not see yourself. They inspire you. And when you have a girl, you want to be proud of your girl, because that's my girl over there. Not proud of the eye candy she is, but proud because that's my girl, and I like her, who she is, what she represents, what she's trying to do in her own life. That's a good girl. If you don't have that kind of pride for your girl, break up. Serious. If she doesn't have that for you, that respect and pride and and really admire you, you have to admire each other. I think that's... Anyway, I have 4 minutes left. I don't know if it had any kind of value for you guys, but it's what I'm thinking constantly, and I can't sleep because I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm trying to write another book, and I can't form it.
Don't worry, you got till you're 60.
That's correct. I like this guy. But I will do it. Like, the world can't end because I got to do this book, so I'm not worried. It'll come out of me. But you know what? It's true, because this book, The Alabaster Girl, just go get it if you don't have it. Okay? And let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about it. It's my life's work. It's 400 pages. That book came from my hard-won, hard-earned, hard-scrabbling experiences. And I vomited it out of my system. And I feel like my next book, I don't have anything. I have to go to the ancients. I don't know. But I know what the theme of the book is. I know what it feels like. I know the pattern of it. I know the name, no, the title, but I won't tell you. But I just can't shape it. I'm missing something. But I'm excited because I have to fight for it. So I guess my closing message, because I got 2 minutes left, is keep seeking that mystery. Go fight for the energy of the mystery. Answers, whatever. Keep always looking for the trajectory of what makes you alive, what makes you shine. Be the light, like I said, and others will follow into it. Be generous with your spirit. Be gracious, be kind. Welcome others in. Give. Forgive yourself. Forgive that little boy who meant well. Forgive yourself because you meant well last week when you talked to a girl and she said, I don't like that. But your heart was sincere. I guess I'm done. I have bookmarks for everybody. I think I have enough. I'll hand them out. Go to alabastergirl.com. I had 2,000 copies printed. They're stacked up in my apartment, and I was signing them, sending them out. Now, the only thing you have to pay is shipping, the cost, and I'll sign and send it to you anywhere in the world. It was $7.95, $8. But then my lovely and illustrious Romanian business partner, Serene, said the postage went up, and now it's $10 to send the books out. So I was losing $12 a book, so it's now $10. So, but it's cost. Believe me, that's it. I'll sign it and I'll send it to you. Put your full name and your address and everything. I'll send it to you. But let me know what you think, because I don't know. Question? Oh, I guess I should have taken questions, huh? Are we out of time?
So I very much like your vibe, and I also, every time I went out and had more of your vibe, like focusing on energy, focusing on the flow, focusing, on the small things, letting it just develop, I was always more successful than if I just was there with my brain, just, like analytical German style. So
you're always on time, though.
Yeah, I know. So it's that. But I think what we all struggle with, and you said, don't judge is one of the things. Get rid of this. But I think what we do, and a lot of times we have our jobs, which we judge there, where we get sick sometimes from that. We have we look on Twitter, we turn on the TV, we see the news going on, we judge there, and we just. Do you have any tips? How we can, in our environment, which is full of, BS. Again, I'm judging here. How we can create more of this vibe, so we can, and focusing more on energy.
I don't know. The world is saturated with this violent discourse. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Like, it's easy to say, well, just check out of it, but we live a life of connectedness. I have to be on Facebook because that's how I connect with my family and other people, so I don't know the answer to that.
I know alcohol helps, but are there any other tips?
I think it's just a conscious choice to say, nope, I don't want it. That doesn't serve me. To get into that dialogue does not serve me. Doesn't serve me. If you're a seeker and you're a student of life, and if you're a seeker, which is a beautiful, beautiful energy to be, then I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. I really don't. It's a difficult time. One more question over here. We okay? Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.